This is a quick overview of the SPHEREx Data Explorer. When you first load the SPHEREx Data Explorer, you're dropped into the Results tab, but you don't have any results yet because you haven't done a search. To search, you want to go to the Spectral Image Search tab. It may take a couple seconds to load, but what it's loading is something called a HIPS image in the background. What HIPS image is something it can do an all-sky map with dynamically adapting resolution. If you want to find more information about it, you can go to the online help, go to visualization, and go to general information about HIPS images. There you can get lots more information. But in practical terms, what you need to know is that it's an all-sky image with dynamically adapting resolution. On top of it is something called a MOC, multi-order coverage map. And this MOC is telling you where there are SPHEREx data. It comes up with an outline. If you don't like the outline, you can change it to fill in where there are data. Now, that shows you more efficiently where there are data because at the moment, SPHEREx has more sky that hasn't been observed than has been observed. But at the same time, while it's easier to see where there are data, it's a lot harder to see through underneath to where there's texture in the background. So that's why it comes up by default as an outline. But you can change the way that it's showing things and you can change the color that it's using. You can also grab and drag so you can see things differently on the sky. You can also zoom if you'd like. And if you don't like the image that it's using in the background, you can change it. But for now, I'm going to click in a region where I know that there's data, and it's going to populate the spatial search with that information. I can add in addition, or even instead, timing constraints or spectral constraints. But for now, I'm just going to do a spatial search. So it comes back with a list of images that meet my search criteria here, and it shows me the data here on the right. You can grab and drag the division between the left and right panes if you want one side to be bigger than the other. This is a table of the results, and as you click in the table, the stuff on the right changes to reflect what you've selected here on the left. Now remember, because of SPHEREx's data acquisition strategy, you have two images of the same patch of sky taken in two different wavelengths at the same time. So that's what this color scheme means. The darker yellow is the one that's shown. The lighter yellow is that other region of sky taken at the same time, but at a different wavelength. If you want to see both of those at the same time, you can click on that icon and it will give you both of those connected images, both of the images in the image set at the same time. As SPHEREx continues to map out the sky, you'll be able to see data from all of the different wavelengths of the same portion of the sky at the same time. But right now, depending on where you've searched, you may not be able to have all of the possible wavelengths of the same region of sky obtained at the same time. If you go to the Coverage tab, this gives you sort of an overview of what data you've obtained in your search results. All of those large polygons are the individual tiles that you found on the left-hand side are shown in the coverage image on the right. I also want to highlight the Details tab. Especially since SPHEREx is new, you might not be familiar with all of the columns that are returned. Each row has a lot of values. The Details tab has all of those same values, but shown vertically rather than horizontally. And if you scroll over, you can find the description of what those columns are. You can also get them by letting your mouse hover over the header, but sometimes it's easier to see the description of it out here. And because this is a table, just like this is a table, the tables are sortable and searchable and filterable so that you can manipulate the table just like any other table in this tool. Toolbox that's here has lots of different tools for manipulating the table. In the online help, there's lots of information about how to work with tables. When you go back to the data, similarly, there's a toolbox to help with the images, and the online help has lots of information about how to work with the images. You can also get catalogs. You go to the IRSA Catalogs tab. You can, for example, search in the WISE catalog to get a catalog back for the chunk of sky surrounding the position that you used when you submitted that request. Here's the catalog that was retrieved. You can make a plot from that catalog. By default, it comes up with a position plot of oriented, but you can change what's plotted. Here too, there's lots of online help that shows you how to change what's plotted. To download data, you go to the Spectral Images tab. Select the data that you want to download, and then click Generate Download Script. You can configure what data products you want. Flattened file structure just describes whether or not you have subdirectories or not. And you can choose to download the files to your local disk or to the IRSA workspace. Click Download Script, and it will give you a script that you can then run, whether you want curl, wget, or just a list of URLs, which then you can drop into your code. This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. There will be more tools coming that allow you to continue to work with SPHEREx data.